What's up everyone, this is CyberKnight8610, and today we have an updated version of our Metalfoes Deck Profile for you guys. So yeah, this is using the new cards that are in Invasion Vengeance. So with that, of course, we have the new Fusion monsters, as well as a new spell card, and even a new effect monster for the Metalfoes too. So that'd be cool to go on ahead and do an update using all the new support from Invasion Vengeance. And also too, for this video, I am testing out a new microphone that I plugged into my camera. So if you guys notice a difference, tell me in the comments, and also if the quality's better on that too. I thought I would kind of use this video to be sort of a test on that, because there are a bunch of settings on this, and yeah, I'm not the best on different settings on cameras and stuff, so I'm trying out a bunch of different stuff. So if you notice it, you know, any improved quality, please tell me in the comments. And yeah, let's go ahead and start going through the cards. Alright, just like last time, I'm using 3 of each of the Metalfoes. So we have 3 Volflame, 3 Gold Driver, 3 Stillin, and then 3 Silvered. So yeah, of course, just like the last time, I mean, you're going to notice that a lot in this video where it's pretty much the same explanations, but you got to have 3 of each of the original Metalfoes. They all have the same effect where basically you are able to get rid of one of your face-up cards on your side of the field, and then you're able to search for one of your Metalfoes spell or traps from your deck, and then set it to your side of the field. So that just helps you search for your fusion or your different trap cards, you know, like counter, and just get them as quickly as possible. So they all have the same effect on that. Other than that, the really only differences is that, of course, on their scales, Silvered and Gold Driver both have the scale of 1, and then Stillin and Volflame have the scale of 8. So it's nice to have 3 of each of them, just because it's a lot easier to get the scales that you need, so you can pendulum summon as easy as possible. And then after that, we have our newest member to the Metalfoes, and that is Rare Metalfoes Bismugear. I'm using 2 of these, and what's really cool about this card is, of course, it's actually an effect monster for Metalfoes, so it's the only one that's like that. Anyway, it has the same pendulum effect as the others, you know, exact same thing. Also, it's another way to get a higher scale monster, because that's kind of been the problem with this deck, is that you need some higher scale monsters. So we gain 2 more by using this card by having that scale of 8. And then also it actually has a monster effect, because it's not a normal monster or normal pendulum like the other ones. So with this one, whenever it is drawn by battle or card effect, you're able to search for a Metalfoes monster and add it to your hand. So basically it's just another way to search for whatever Metalfoes you need, which can help you complete a scale, and it makes everything way more consistent too. Then of course, just like last time, I'm using 3 Magispector Raccoon, and then of course 1 Magispector Unicorn Kirin. Just like last time, using the Magispector engine in the deck. Of course, you know, since this deck revolves around pendulum monsters, that helps out to have more pendulums in the deck. And then Kirin is just amazing. I mean, just being able to remove monsters that are a problem from your opponent's side of the field is just always very useful to you. And the reason you're running 3 Raccoon, it's basically to search for Kirin. It's kind of the basic idea. And also, level 3 monsters are really great in this deck anyway, for synchro summoning and stuff too. So it helps out to have those extra level 3s, but mainly you're running the 3 Raccoon just to get Kirin out as quickly as possible. That way you have that effect to just bounce back monsters. Also, we have Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. This just comes handy in anything pendulums. And then 3 Gofu, because, well, Gofu and the Metalfoes just work together. I mean, they're just perfect with each other. The reason you want to use Gofu is because you're able to instantly special summon it when you don't have any monsters on your side of the field. It gives you 2 tokens, which then you can use as fuel for your Metalfoes that are in the pendulum zones. Then you contribute those tokens, be able to search for whether it be Metalfoes Fusion or Counter or any of the spells and traps that Metalfoes have, and just get them as quickly as possible. So it speeds up the deck, it gives you instant tributes, and also it's a level 5 tuner that you can actually use. And like I said, level 3s work so well with this deck, because since we're using Gofu, we can go for level 8 synchros really easily, and we also have Ultimate Zolkin. So yeah, it adds so much to the deck, it's just amazing. And like I said, Luster Pendulum is just basically there because he works well in anything that involves pendulums. And then our last monsters are 3 Archfiend Eccentric, and 1 Rescue Rabbit. 3 Archfiend Eccentric is really nice because I still like to have some higher scale monsters. That's still kind of a problem. Bismugear helps out a lot with that, but it's still nice to have some higher scale monsters. And also too, what I really like about this card is that it's basically a Mystical Space Typhoon, of course, when it is in the pendulum zone. So that always comes handy with this deck, because that's what can shut down this deck is back row. You know, if they have a Vanities, or, you know, just Solemn Strikes, or Solemn Warning, anything like that that can really hurt you, you want to get rid of it, because it can shut down the deck. And of course, Rescue Rabbit, because we have all of these Metal Metalfoes that are normal pendulums, so you can actually use Rescue Rabbit, get a couple of your Metalfoes, and then pretty much instantly go for one of your fusion monsters because you have 2 Metalfoes, or maybe you're just, getting a few of them for an Xyz summon, or, just to search for them. I mean, it adds a lot to the deck, and the main thing about it that I like is, like I said, just being able to use this, get 2 of my Metalfoes, and then have a Metalfoes fusion, and just go for one of the fusion monsters. Now moving on to spell cards, I'm using 1 Metalfoes Fusion and 1 full Metalfoes Fusion. With this, of course, Metalfoes Fusion, you only need 1 because you're just able to search for it all the time. When it's in the graveyard, then you're able to send it back to the deck and then draw cards. So it's one of the best cards out there. I mean, being able to be a draw engine card and being able to recycle itself back to the deck. And like I said, with your Metalfoes that are in the pendulum zones, you're just able to keep searching for it over and over. And then, of course, full Metalfoes Fusion is a nice new card that we got from Invasion Vengeance, which is just making it so you can fuse in your opponent's turn. Next up, I'm using 3 Painful Decision, and then 2 Pot of Desires. Pretty much, they're kind of both self-explanatory. Painful Decision is just there to help you search for your Metalfoes. Then Pot of Desires is Pot of Desires. I mean, I'm still going with the same thing, like I've said before, where I prefer to have 2 of them instead of 3. I understand why people run 3. It's just, I feel like since I'm going for more of a competitive build, that it is needed. It's a card that can help you push for a game, and if you're in a tough spot too, it can help you get out of that. But also, if you're going for more of a budget build, I feel like it can be replaced. So if you don't have one, of course, because it is so expensive, you can replace it with other cards too, so don't worry about that. And then for the last of our spell cards, using 2 Mystical Space Typhoon and 1 Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin, of course, is just a draw. You want to thin down the deck, you want to get cards that you need, and just draw. So, plain and simple on that. Then obviously I'm using the Mystical Space Typhoons just to clear out the back row. I'm using them instead of Twin Twisters because I don't want to discard my cards. I mean, this is one of the decks where you really don't want to send your cards to the graveyard. Unlike most decks out there where it's not really a big deal, or that's usually what you're trying to do. In this case, it doesn't really work. So you're better off using Mystical Space Typhoon instead of Twin Twisters. And again, just like I said with Arching Eccentric, you got to get rid of that back row. And of course, moving on to our trap cards, I'm using 2 Metalfoes Counter, 1 Metalfoes Combination, and then 1 Vanity's Emptiness. So, yeah, of course, starting off with a Metalfoes Counter, it's always a great card to have. I feel like you need at least 2 of these because it is just an instant Metalfoes to your side of the field. When one of your Metalfoes monsters is just destroyed, you're able to, search from your deck and special summon one of your Metalfoes. So I feel like you need 2 of these. I've seen a lot of builds go with 1. I feel like it is necessary to have 2. I feel like that's almost, no questions asked. You have to have that. And especially when you're able to search for these so easily using the Metalfoes that are in your Pendulum Zone and add them to your side of the field like first turn, it definitely can come in handy and help you set up your field the way you need it and get as many Metalfoes out there and go for those fusions as quickly as possible too. And of course, a Metalfoes Combination, again, with all the fusions, it is nice to have that for its first effect, but the second effect is what I really like it for, because like what I said with Abysmagear and a Painful Decision, it is always nice to be able to search in this deck, because being able to get those Metalfoes to your hand is just something that can help you keep going for more of the fusions, get the right scale that you need for a Pendulum Summon, or just more Pendulum monsters out there. I mean, when you go for a Pendulum Summon, just summon as many as possible. So it's just great, mainly for that second effect, but you will be able to use that first effect really easily too, because it's nothing to be able to fusion summon in this deck. And then last but not least, we have Vanity's Emptiness. You may be wondering why I'm running this card. Well, it's pretty much a staple again, because just like I said, it can shut down Metalfoes, well, it can shut down just about anything else as well. So just being able to flip this up on your opponent's turn, make it so they can't special summon anything, which shuts down a lot of decks out there. And then when it's your turn, it's easy to get rid of. I mean, when you have your Metalfoes in your Pendulum Zone, you can get rid of it, and then you're able to search for one of your Metalfoes spell or traps even. Or, do whatever you want on that. It's just a great card to have in just about any deck anyway, and I think it's pretty safe to say that Vanity's Emptiness is a staple, again, in just about any deck out there. And now moving on to the extra decks. So first off, we have full Metalfoes Alcahest, and then 2 of Metalfoes Mithrylum. These are the brand new fusions that we gained with Invasion Vengeance, and both of them have helped out the deck a lot. First off, Alcahest is just really nice because you're able to have it on your side of the field, especially on your opponent's turn, get one of their monsters, attach it to it, you're gaining defense from that, but the main thing about it is that you're able to get one of your opponent's monsters to your side of the field, and equip it to him, and then also, too, you can use that as fuel for your Metalfoes. And that's what's also nice about full Metalfoes Fusion, being able to use in your opponent's turn, go for Alcahest, like I said, and then just be able to take one of your opponent's bonus monsters like that. And then with the 2 Mithril, they're pretty much your go-to when you're not going for Alcahest, because with them you're able to recycle your Metalfoes that are in the graveyard, send them back to the deck, and then you're able to bounce back one monster on the field and send it back to the hand. It's just a way to get rid of problematic cards out there, and it's a way to recycle your Metalfoes cards. And also too, I like the last part of this effect where if it is sent to the graveyard, you're able to get one of your Metalfoes from your extra deck or your graveyard and special summon it. So that's also nice too, kind of having a way to get one of your Metalfoes back if this card is, just sent to the graveyard. And obviously those aren't the only fusions that I'm running. I'm also using 2 Metalfoes Orichalc and then 1 Metalfoes Adamante. Both of these are still really useful too that you can go for. Adamante is just nice because you don't have to use 2 Metalfoes, so it is a really easy one to bring out for you. And then Orichalc is the strongest of different fusions, having a 2,800 attack and then also being able to do piercing damage. Not only that, double the piercing damage too. So if your opponent does have a monster that is in defense on their side of the field, you can still do some major damage to their life points. So it's still very useful to have both of these fusion monsters in your extra deck. After that, I'm moving on to Synchros. So we have Ultima Zulkan because of Gofu, and then with that I have Void Ogre Dragon, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, Stardust Spark Dragon, and then Igniter Prominence the Blasting Draco Slayer. So yeah, you have all these different synchro monsters you're able to bring out really easy. Of course, with Ultima Zulkan, that can help you bring them out, but also too, you can, like I said, go for synchro summons, because you have Gofu, which is level 5, and you have a lot of level 3 monsters in this deck where you're able to then go for like Void Ogre really easily, go for Stardust Spark, and of course, since I'm using Luster Pendulum, I can also have access to Igniter Prominence. And then last but not least, we have our XC monsters. So have number 39 Utopia, and then number S39 Utopia Lightning, then Castell, and then Super Quantal McBeast Grampulse. So since I have some level 4 monsters in the deck, I like being able to have some extra XC monsters that I can go for. So obviously, Utopia the Lightning is pretty much being a staple in anything that can go for rank 4s, and Castell has always been a staple for that. And then of course Grampulse is just a great option because of all the level 3s that we have in the deck. Also, if you have Break Sword, go with that instead. I don't have Break Sword. I mean, yeah, I do have Pot of Desires, but Break Sword is pretty expensive too, and I was lucky enough to get Pot of Desires when they weren't as expensive and actually get them from packs, whereas Break Sword, not so much. But yeah, if you have it, use it because it is a great card for the deck. It's almost considered a staple for most people, but I feel like Grampulse is good enough too. So yeah, I'm hoping that Break Sword will get reprinted sometime soon anyway. I feel like that's going to happen at some point. That and Omega. There you go, that is my updated deck profile over Metalfoes. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Of course, the new support with Invasion Vengeance helped out Metalfoes a lot. We gained a lot of new support that helps speed up the deck, as well as some new fusions that definitely help them out too. So let me know what you guys think about the new support for them, and what you think of the update. Be sure to tell me if you guys have noticed anything different on the microphone, if it has improved or what. Like I said, a lot of different settings on this, trying something new and just trying to improve my videos, so let me know what you guys think on that, if you've noticed any kind of difference at all. But yeah, again, thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. Like this video if you want to see more deck profiles, because it does help out a lot. And of course, if there's any other Yu-Gi-Oh related videos you guys want to see, just let me know in the comments. Again, thank you guys for watching, and of course I will catch you guys later. See you.